Hello, everybody, it's Tim here again. Here, this next movie review, this time for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, just to jump into Indiana Jones, I'm a fan of pretty much all these films. I know Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is kind of a divisive movie. People either, well, it has like a cult following, not so much a cult following, but it has a group of people that think it's underrated. I wouldn't even say it's big enough to be a cult following, but it is pretty much a divisive film because people either hate it or they either like it. Nobody thinks it's as good as like the original three, but it usually ranges from extreme hate or I like it. Um, Personally, for me, I liked it for a fourth Indiana Jones film. I thought it was enjoyable enough. And truthfully, it acted as a good ending for the franchise, with Indiana Jones getting married to Marion at the end and all that. And him having a son and the character Mutt, played by Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf's been canceled, so they couldn't bring him back for this movie. Um, and just as far as this film goes, I'll go ahead and say it. I've gotten to the point now where I judge films more based on quality instead of entertainment value as well. So, from 1 to 4 stars, I'd give Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny a 3 out of 4. It's a good movie. It's not a great movie. For most of it, it goes from like all right to decent. By the end, though, there's enough here for it to be a good time for a fifth Indiana Jones film. But at the same time, would I recommend this film? No, because while it is good as a whole, it is fine. There's really no reason for this film to exist. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, like it or don't, it wrapped up the series perfectly. There's really no reason for this movie to exist, and when you watch it, you do kind of feel that. And by the time you get to the ending of this one, the ending is not as strong of an ending for the franchise as what Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had. So by the time it's over, you're like, well, what was really the point in making this? Because there's really no reason for it to exist. There's no reason to make a 15 Indiana Jones film. None. Because, like I said, again, whether you like the fourth one or not, that ending was perfect for the character. It's a perfect happy ending for Indiana Jones. There's really no reason for this film to exist. And Dial of Destiny, pretty much, talk about the positives first. The positives, yeah, Harrison Ford back, he does a great job. All the acting in it is pretty good. Antonio Banderas is in the film, but he's not in the film for a lot. He is underused, but he's good when he's there. They want to get this dial thing that has the ability to like they turn back time or travel through time or whatever. And Mads Mikkelsen, who plays this villainous Nazi dude who thinks Hitler's a puss because he lost the war, wants to use it to go back in time, kill Hitler, and basically take over and ensure the Nazis win. And he's working with like the CIA to like retrieve the Dial of Destiny thing or whatever that Indiana Jones has. And the CIA doesn't know that he's actually a Nazi, and he's like pretending to be a scientist now or whatever under like a different name, or maybe he was always a scientist, but he's just pretending to use like a different name, and they don't know he's a Nazi. And he's got Boyd Holbrook working with him with his evil mustache, who was also in he was a dick in the movie Logan, and he was in that horrible Predator movie, The Predator. But he's good here as an asshole Nazi. And you got this other big buff dude who's also with Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen as the villain, he does a good job. I wouldn't say he's great in the lineage of Indiana Jones villains, but he's good. He's good here. I liked him. They're trying to get the Dial of Destiny thing, and you got this other character, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, this actress who's in a TV show Fleabag. I heard she was actually good in that. As far as she goes here or whatever, her acting is good. By the time you get to the end of the movie, I liked her character fine, but throughout the movie, she's kind of annoying because she's always like double crossing Indy and doing things against Indy and all that. Because she keeps saying, I only care about the money. She's supposed to be like Indy's goddaughter from this character we never saw before, who's introduced in this way long extended flashback at the beginning of the movie, back in Nazi times to set up for the Dial of Destiny and what it is, and set up Mads Mikkelsen's character. But yeah, it's just way too long of a flashback at the beginning. De-aging on Harrison Ford for the beginning is pretty well done, but when he starts moving around more and all that, you can tell it looks like kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It looks pretty cartoonish. Like de-aging technology, CGI on the face, has never been mastered yet to look extremely well. Sorry, I'm adjusting my phone here a little bit. I always do these reviews on my phone pretty much now. Well, let me readjust it back here. I kind of like this look a little better. But yeah, and yes, it is darker here, so I'm sorry for the darker picture quality. But yeah, so once we get past the flashback in the past and all that, you got Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's like wanting to get the Dial of Destiny thing just to sell it. We don't get much about her character or why she's such an asshole. But eventually, of course, you know her character arc is going to go to the point where she warms up to Indy and decides to, to accept him as her godfather, because that's what he's supposed to be in the movie. But at the same time, it's like, well, why did they just invent a new character to set up this character? They could have just had like her be like the granddaughter of John Rice Davies' character, who has a supporting cameo in this, or extended cameo or whatever. You could have just done that. I don't really know why they had to invent a whole new character for this to just explain who she is. You didn't really need that. And the other thing in this movie that I'm kind of mixed on is they kill off Shia LaBeouf's character. Now, Shia LaBeouf, he's kind of a controversial figure these days because of all the abuse claims or whatever against him. He's pretty much been canceled. But as far as he goes, Shia LaBeouf I thought was fine in the last movie. Here in this movie, they say that he died in the war. On one hand, I get it. You need more. If you're going to make another movie, you need more drama for the Indy character. But a character who was just introduced in the last movie, you just kill him off for the purpose of just having drama, feels pretty lazy. So I don't really think that was needed. You didn't really need to do that. You could just have said that him and his mom, Karen Allen, were like off on some adventure somewhere or something, or off like teaching a seminar or something somewhere in another college or something in another country. You didn't really need to like kill him off. It's done purposely just to give Indy some more dramatics in the movie, because him and Karen Allen have split up because of the grief over their dead son. And eventually they're reunited by the end. But you just didn't really need to do it. It's just thrown in there purposely just to force some drama. So it was weak because of that. But at the same time, I do appreciate that they tried to give Indy some more drama. But at the same time, I think this movie would have worked fine if he just was standard Indiana Jones, the hero character. I'm going to adjust my view here a little bit. Get over here where I got some more light. Yeah, there we go. If he just was like standard hero Indiana Jones, I think this movie still would have worked fine. But yeah, like I said, Harrison Ford does a great job. Mads Mikkelsen does a good job. Phoebe Waller-Bridge or whatever, her character is pretty annoying through a lot of the movie because she keeps like double crossing Indy. But by the end, though, when she starts warming up to him and all that, and wanting to help him out and everything, she did start to win me over a little more character wise. So by the end, I thought she was good. She was fine. And to be honest, her acting in the movie was also fine. Like, I heard a lot of people claiming that she was like, this was going to be some radical feminist indie movie where she takes over the franchise. It's not like that at all. She's good in the movie. She's just another sidekick. It's just the first time we ever really had a sidekick character for Indy who like double crosses Indy and treats him like crap through most of the movie. So she's just not really likable, despite the actress doing a good job. I don't blame the actress in the writing, but by the end, though, she comes around. So, yeah, and the end of the movie, I will say the climax is just way too over the top, where they actually do go back in time, but they go back in time to like the wrong time period, and the Romans are like fighting the Greeks or something. And Mads Mikkelsen gets killed, his plane crashes, and Indy is there. And he ends up getting the time displacement device, or whatever, the Dial of Destiny that was made, because it was made in this time period, and he gets it and uses it to flash forward back to his own time. Well, he doesn't want to go at first. He wants to stay there. So Phoebe Waller-Bridge or whatever, who has warmed up to him now at this point, and he's like won her over. She, cares about him and doesn't want him to stay there because he'll die. And I will say, like, her warming up to Indy and all that, and finally accepting Indy as her godfather and all that, did feel a little unearned. But at the same time, the actors do a good job enough for me to buy it. Sorry, I had a bug on me. But, hold on just a second. Sorry about this. It's a bug on me. I think it was a mosquito. But by the time you get to the end, though, the actors do a good enough job to make you buy it. And then she punches out Indy, which I thought was kind of funny. Brings him back to the future. And that's when he meets Karen Allen, who comes there. She's like, Phoebe Waller-Bridge or whatever is like called, her character's name is Shaw, I think. Called Karen Allen to like come there and meet with Indy and all that. And they have a reunion finally. And, they reunite their love with each other. And Indy's hat's like hanging outside as the character Shaw leaves. And he reaches outside and grabs his hat from the clothesline as the camera like zooms in and it just goes black and it's over. So all in all, 3 out of 4. A good movie for a 5th Indy, but just not needed. The ending, like I said, climax and the whole going back in time and stuff like that is the most over-the-top, like, supernatural thing we've had in the whole series at this point. And it is a bit too much. I had the same problem with the alien flying saucer at the end of part 4. But if you compared to, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark, of course, and Last Crusade, this is not as good at all. It would be more of like a meh, passable movie, maybe even bad. But for a 5th Indiana Jones sequel, this is good. It's harmless. Fine. If you like Indiana Jones and you really wanted another one after part 4, this is good enough. But if you didn't want another one after part 4, you probably won't like it just on principle because you just won't want the movie to exist. But for what it is, no, it's not needed. The Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls ending was a good enough ending. We didn't really need another one of these. And it was actually a better ending for the Indy character than this. But for what this is, for a 5th Indiana Jones film, it was good, it was fine. But this, to me, feels like the black sheep of the series because it's just not needed. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again.